Dean Swan here from Swan Family Inc. And today I'm doing a review of a much different Kanger tanks. From the T3S all the way up to the Kanger Aero Tank. I got 6 different tanks I want to show you guys. A lot of different people do reviews on different tanks, this tank versus that tank. I kind of wanted to show you all the tanks I have and kind of give you information about each one, how I rebuilt them, how I like to run them, shit like that. Kind of give you an idea what's on the market there and what works, or works for me anyways. I paid for all these tanks myself, so I don't have any kind of obligation to give anybody a good review. I chose Kanger because I got a bunch of their tanks. I kind of, I like their tanks. So anyways, all these reviews are going to be on my Anoken iTaste MVP 2.0 running at 5 volts. And let's get the show started. So each one comes with, and normally most Kanger tanks come with a box. Inside the box, this Aero Tank's got a certificate of authenticity. Get on the website, you can make sure that it's actual Kanger product. But my Aero Tank came with 2 coils, a beauty ring, and the device. Some of my tanks didn't, but we'll start off with the normal T3S. I got this guy at a local Big Smoke here in town. About $5. Pretty good tank. Now, this isn't the stock tank. The air holes have been drilled out to 1/16, and I also rebuilt the coil with a 1.18 ohm nano coil with cotton wick. It seems to work a lot better for me. I don't get dry hits. A lot less leaking, gurgling, stuff like that. If you want to learn how to do nano coils, Rip Trippers has a really awesome video on nano coil builds. That's where I got my info from. Definitely, he's got some great videos, so check him out. Anyways, T3S. Now, definitely, if you got citrus juices, cinnamon, stuff like that, it will crack this tank. I have cracked a couple of these because I smoke pretty much primarily all citrus juices, and that's why I ended up moving on to glass with different Protanks and whatnot. Anyways, we'll throw this on here and show you how she vapes. Definitely with the nano coil, it hits a lot better than the stock coil, but I was pretty surprised with the stock coil as far as how it performed. So 5 volts, here we go. Decent hitting little tank now that I rebuilt the coil and drilled out the air holes, but definitely stock from the store. It performs pretty decently. Now they also have knockoffs that look exactly the same. Now, in my opinion, the actual genuine Kanger ones do perform a little bit better than the knockoffs. So, moving on, my next tank is going to be a Kanger Evod tank. Now, I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised by this tank and how well it performed. It definitely did a lot of work on fixing the leaking issue. Still, I believe, plastic on the inside. I haven't cracked one yet, but we'll see what happens. Definitely a lot smaller tank. Doesn't hold as much juice, but this sucker burns through a lot of juice, especially with the nano coil cotton build. Once again, drilled out the air holes. Here we go. Definitely, it's a lot better. Now, it also has better flavor. I was really surprised at how well this tank, performed. Once again, I started looking towards glass tanks, and I'll show you my next step here. So my next tank is going to be a Kanger Mini Protank. Now I ordered a Protank Mini V2 with the removable drip tip. What I received off eBay was a version 1. It doesn't have the removable drip tip. Came in an official Kanger box, but one thing I had a problem with is as I put the bottom cap on too tight after filling it, it busted off the end of the metal, the threads that hold it from keeping from going into the glass. Now I was pretty sure I cracked the glass a little bit, but it's still working. I once again drilled out the air holes. It's got the 510 connection instead of the Ego connection. Glass tank does not come apart though. Hits pretty well, but the flavor's not there. I'll show you how it vapes. Hits pretty well. Flavor's not the greatest. The thread stripped out on mine, so it pretty much, like, you can wiggle it down to the bottom and then tighten it. Definitely a little bit of a cracked glass issue, but you know, it does all right for the price. It ain't that bad. So, you know, I wasn't really happy with that. They refunded my money. Still got the tank, even though cracked, it still works. Moving right along, I got a Kanger Protank 1, just the original Kanger Protank. Now I have to admit, although the smoke shop I went to said it was an authentic Kanger, it came in a baggie and not in a box. Leads me to believe that it's probably a knockoff. I'm pretty sure that the tank's plastic instead of glass too, so I was, you know, pretty disappointed. I got this from a little place over in Pullman, Washington. If you're from the area over there, you know probably who I got it from. Pretty much the only gig for vaping stuff over there. They've done me right on a lot of other things. They're very nice people over there, but I don't think they know what they're talking about as far as this Kanger tank goes. They said it was legit. I just don't think it's there. Anyways, once again, the tank's drilled out. I got a nano coil. Here's how it vapes. Right off the bat, it's flooded. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I haven't used this tank in a while, but I did notice yesterday when I tried it out that it was flooded. Just haven't got around to fixing it yet. It's a knockoff, you know, what do you expect? Flavors, okay, not great. Vapor production's okay, not great. I drilled out the air holes. The mini one definitely has better airflow with 1/16 drilled out air holes, you know. But it does all right. I think it cost me like 18 bucks. You know, for the price on eBay, I could have got a Protank 3 or an Aero Tank, but you know, that's the price you pay for having something now. So, next up is the Kanger Protank 2. Now, this does come with the removable drip tip. All the parts are interchangeable. You can replace the tank, Pyrex tank. Came in a Kanger box, authentic. Rounded look, you know, not square. Definitely my drip tip. As far as I've heard, it's hit or miss. Mine's really loose. I don't really like it. So that's probably going to get replaced. But overall look is alright, you know. The Aero Tank I like better as far as looks go, but I'll get into that here in a second. I'll show you how it vapes and we'll move along. much tighter draw. I haven't drilled out the air holes yet. Now, I was really surprised. I've gone through a lot of Kanger product tanks. Now, I haven't had one that had amazing flavor yet until I got the Protank 2. I was definitely surprised at how good the flavor was, especially when it's just a normal Kanger coil. I don't know what they did differently to make it taste so much better, but it definitely had amazing flavor, pretty good vapor. I'm probably going to drill out the air holes. It's way too tight for what I like, but so far, you know, it's pretty surprisingly does the job pretty good. It's like sucking a golf ball through a straw, but it does have pretty damn good flavor. So definitely the Protank 2 is something I recommend. Get ready to drill out the air holes. Next up, the Protank Aero Tank. Now, I do not have a Protank 3. The reviews I've seen on them were shit, and I figured I could get the Protank Aero Tank. Try out a dual coil, bottom coil clearmizer, dual coil, but without having to buy the Aero, you know, the Protank 3 and the Aero Tank. I could just get the Aero Tank, try out the dual coil, see how I like it. And really, the airflow control is the reason why I bought it, but really, I ended up drilling out the air holes bigger than 1/16, and it still does not get that good airflow. It's alright. It's not great. It's alright. Definitely still has the great flavor like the Protank 2. I like the look of it a lot better. That fucker is sexy. Got the squared off top, straight 510 drip tip. I really like the look of it. That is a good looking clearmizer. Can hold it steady for you. Anyways, I'll show you how it does. Decent vapor, really good flavor still like the Protank 2. Better airflow, but still not up to my standards. Now, one thing I didn't mention is both my Protank 2 and my Aero Tank is the original dual coil. I did not rebuild it with a nano coil. That is straight up stock. Now, I haven't felt the need to rebuild them yet. I'm sure I'll get into that later, but for now, I'm really enjoying the flavor, so I decided to stick with how it is for now. Try it out, drill out the air holes maybe. So far, it's working pretty good. I definitely recommend either one of those tanks. The Kanger Evod, great tank. If you're looking to go super cheap, the T3 is a decent tank, but it's still a tank cracker. I definitely prefer the Evod over the T3S though. If you're into glass, I really recommend the Protank 2 and the Aero Tank. And the reviews on the Protank 3 were kind of crappy, so it is what it is. Well, that's about the end of the review. Next week I'm going to be doing a Genesis style atomizer, the RSST with a glass tank, the new glass tank RSST. So, drop by, check it out, and we'll see you next week.